late March. April 1st is actually next Tuesday. So getting closer to the time we're going to plant corn. We want to plant corn in May this year. Usually down at my place, we usually do it to be late May, early June. I think we're going to try and get in a little earlier this year, and the reason for that is I think it's going to help us. Our summers have been a little bit dry the last couple of years, and we've had some washout last year. I'll show you guys that. But so what I have here is 2-row corn planter and the Summit unit 2-row corn planter that I've had for years. You guys have seen me work with Summit tree stands for quite a few years a while back, and I got this unit from them. It worked great for years and years. To let somebody use it, it ended up breaking, and there's no parts for it. So one head works and one head doesn't. So I replaced the hydraulic unit, electric drive hydraulic unit on it a couple years back, and I really want to have the electric drive because this unit here is manual. And I don't mind manual, but it sure takes a lot of time. Every time you do 2 rows, you got to get off, lift it up, turn it around, bring it over, drop it down, make your row, lift it up, turn around, just a lot of off and on. And the older I get, the lazier I'm getting, not gonna lie. So that being said, I'm the kitty, just walking in over here, yep. So what I'm gonna do is I want to take these heads off of this unit, I want to put them on this unit, and these heads over here I'm going to keep for spares, just back up in one of our storage sheds, just to kind of keep around just in case we do need one sooner or later. So there were some U-bolts on this. It's got a 4" by 4" box steel setup. I cut the U-bolts instead of trying to get them to unbolt, just because they were rusty and they've been around for 15, 18 years now. This unit is pretty much brand new. We got to figure out how we're going to get these heads on this unit. So I'm going to do a little bit of thinking, maybe a little bit of cobbling. We'll see how it works out. But we'll show you guys what we're making to make a hydraulic lift 2-row corn planter that you'll be able to use behind your ATV or UTV. So stick around. We appreciate you guys watching. Alright, so we're going to pull these heads off here, and once we get these heads off, we got to figure out how to mount them to the other unit. So this will take a little bit. So, you guys can see we got the manual unit here. Works great. Just I think the auto one is better. How's that sound? Getting older, don't want to get off and on the 4-wheeler as much. And it's not light every time you have to lift it up. So, that being said, now we got to try and figure out how we're going to mount that to this. Could weld it. Kind of think I want to make it bolt on. So we're going to have to do some figuring. get it all dialed in the way we want it. Stick around, I'll show you that next. Alright. So, here's what we got. We got this frame. And we got these heads. We have to take this and mount it to this. So, could be easy if we just weld it. If we weld it, I want to support it better. I could weld it to the end of it, right off of here. All set right over there for now. So if I took this and I welded it to here, that would probably be pretty dang good. Or if we put it underneath it and welded it, would be pretty good. I kind of want to make it bolt, so that's the hard part. We get some square tubing. We can run square tubing along here, make it bolt, and then drill holes through here and bolt it straight through, which would extend the head out the back a little bit further, which I like. But I'm going to have to order up some metal to do that. I think that's probably be our best bet, because it's going to lower the head a little bit. We've only got 4 or 5 inches there that'll drop down, which extended out the back will be like 12 inches of drop, which we can always, if we have to, modify the mount for the swing arm or change the angle up top, which that's going to be pretty close to the height that it's going to go on the back of the wheeler, so changing that angle would be pretty easy. I'm going to take a few measurements, maybe go get some material, and we will go from there. We'll show you guys what we got going on. Stick around. Square tubing. These are going to be my struts. We're actually going to bolt them to the heads and then weld the struts to the frame. So we got to cut the last one here. Built a lot of race cars with this bad boy. He's probably 30 years old now. But yeah, she probably needs to rebuild on the brushes on the motor. She works. It actually gives us a 24-inch roll. which
also from the Bees in our vast music library in my life. Is somebody around here
30 might be better.
Because I've been known to go, we have a vast music library. I'm talking huge.
We go 24s.
The capital V-A-S-T.
We'll be able to get a better, a larger amount of corn in the field. So that's kind of what our plan is. It'll be fine for the deer going through anyway. And the wheeler center, measuring the center on my wheels, is 39. 39.4.
We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost
We go
over.
30, then it's going to hit on both sides.
It's to remind people to
24
customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual.
48.
Well, I guess you had more time than I thought. Only pay for what you need at
That'll work.
libertymutual.com.
24 center will work good. So what I'm figuring out is making sure that the wheeler will go down when we're spraying glyphosate.
I'm pretty pumped. Spring is officially here.
If we're fertilizing, if we're using the wheeler, also the tractor. So kind of got to keep an eye on that when you're laying this stuff out. Anyway, we're going to run the 24-inch centers like it is currently. I've got the strut pieces, they're cooling off. I'm going to deburr the edges on that. We're going to measure this distance center to center on the mount system here, which is like about 4 and 5/8.
You know it. Your friends know it.
4 and 5/8 center to center. And then we'll be able to grind off the paint underneath. We'll be able to weld our strut and bolt it all together. Center here piece is 2 and 7/8 feet tight. So basically 3-inch center. And that should be pretty good for our mounting system. And we'll be able to bolt these directly up to both these heads directly up to the back side of this. We're going to weld the strut pieces underneath on the bottom here to get our heads a little bit lower to the ground because of our clearances that we have for the drive system to seat it down into the ground. You want to be able to lift it up high enough to make sure that the heads fit and hold level and can feed, because they drive off the back wheels with the chain drive, which feeds into here, runs down the tubes and drops the seed down the tube here where the plow edge is. So that is the plan. I will lay this out quick, and then we'll know exactly where we gotta weld our parts on. We'll weld them inside and outside, and we should be good to go. Hopefully it all works. Stick around.
Where the reach is real. Let us show you what iHeart advertising.
Alright, well, you guys can see what I did here. So I ended up flipping it up, putting a jack stand. We work on the bottom. Tubes had some water and ice in them. So made a mess on the floor, which is somewhat annoying. But anyhow, we can work easier with this. So it makes life easier. So I'm going to remark my locations. We'll end up taking our strut material, we have here. And they will get welded on here like this. The heads will fit into here, so it'll be one on each side. The heads will fit in there and it'll bolt down through the top of it. Actually, this will sit on top of that angle iron piece. So it lowers the head a little bit and gives us what I think we need for support here. And that should be it. It should work well. I'm going to check the tires. They do make a solid tire for this. These tires have been around a long time. Bearings are still good, but we'll check for dry rot. I think one of them has some, this one's still got air in it. So this one must have on the outside a little bit of dry rot right here. We'll see if it holds air. If not, we will replace them with the solid tires from Amazon, like 25 bucks each. So, anyhow, that being said, I'm going to mark this out and we'll get to grinding and then we'll get to welding. This makes our welding a lot easier. Inverted welding with the TIG, inverted welding with anything is a big pain in the butt. Stick around.
WXXM, Sunbury, Madison, and iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free, new and improved iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Perfect.
Rewind.
So we'll grab a couple more of those clamps, get everything clamped up. We'll do some tack welds, make sure everything's tacked really good. Then we'll do the finish weld. So and we'll mount the heads. Now we've got our setup here. I've got the welder set up, power's on. I've got my TIG set up, able to come over here. You got to make sure you use the correct rod when you're doing this. So I'm using a multi-metal moly rod. It'll work for any steel. We used to use it constantly when we were building race car chassis for chromoly tubing. I have stainless rod too that's here, which I had where I used to work. I used to do a bunch of stainless work. We did some stainless header stuff and some stainless turbo stuff back in the day. So I used to build all of that too. But anyhow, we're going to bolt this all up. Everything should be good and square. Chucked it twice. And then we'll put our heads on, show you guys what it looks like. So stick around. Always make sure you got anything that's fiery, that'll catch on fire, quite a ways away from what you're dealing with. We don't want to start a fire either. So anyway, I'll get my welding seat out here, get the helmet ready, and we'll get this done. Stick around. Question out here. See what we get.
That features hit after hit after hit. It's the Eddie's Rock Tour with Lou Grant, the original
We got
former vocalist of Asia, John Payne, and longtime vocalist of Chicago, Jeff Fisher.
clean them up with a wire brush. I am not going to paint anything yet, just due to making sure everything works, because we take it and we use it and all of a sudden we break something. We got to cut stuff off and all of that. So, but that at first we will bolt these heads on. I'll show you guys that, and we should be good to go. Hopefully it'll all work out. Our measurements are good. We're 4.5 inches center to center on our bolt hole, and we're 3 inches in between, which should give us a little bit of play in between the heads, just to make sure we got enough space for the head to fit up inside of it. Going to use the same brackets that came with these heads to bolt through, and it should all measure out decent, or it did all measure out decent. So we'll get that part done. I'm going to put a little air in the tire here. We'll see what happens with that. I'll see whether or not the tire is completely junk. But I am going to order the solid tires I told you guys from Amazon. We'll get that done, and then we don't have to worry about it ever again. They're basically foam filled, but it's the same size tire and rim and everything. All right, guys, so here it is. This is what we got going on. You guys can see I built my brackets. I mounted the two heads on here. We got a 28-inch center. I decided to open it up a little bit more. That's 2 inches less than a 30-inch center, but it fits the ATV spread and also the sprayer spread, so that was the plan on that. These heads are all actually calibrated already for corn and beans. I can change the drives for the beans if I want to go with beans, but don't run beans on my property just due to the deer completely destroying them. There's that many deer in that area, so I will run the corn. Everything's welded up. Everything fit like we wanted it to. We will test the drop, make sure the drop is where we want it to be, but it looks currently like it'll be pretty good. If not, I can make a couple extensions or drop the brace system a little bit, make the adjustment up front. So that project is complete. Appreciate you guys watching the Obsession. You guys watch for more stuff coming to you guys shortly. We're going to be doing all our property prep, showing how we're laying out our properties. I am changing the Triple B again this year, just to do a couple different things. We are pulling stands off the property, just due to, we've got a couple stands on food plots. We didn't hunt very often. A lot of times we didn't hunt at all. I have a couple stands I haven't hunted since I bought the property that I had put up, just due to realizing we can't get in and out without educating deer. So we're going to pull all of that this year. Like I said, we're pulling stands off of food. We do have some transitional food plots that we will be hunting. You guys will see. Last year I had some pretty good opportunities right away early. A couple 4-year-olds that I decided to let go. But this is complete. I'm excited to use it. So we'll see how that goes. Stick around for the rest of the Obsession shows. Also remember, check the podcast out every Saturday. Check the Obsession podcast out Saturday at 7 a.m. and Small Property Layouts every Wednesday at 7 a.m. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for watching.